recording. Then I share my screen. Okay. Started recording. Fine. Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone. Like Chanvi mentioned, we have been working on MRI safety games under the LTAG grant for almost 5 months now. There are various phases in the LTAG grant. So currently we are in the evaluation phase. So we've been doing requirements gathering and other phases for the last 5 months, and now we have developed the games completely. It's gone through various reviews, and we have come to the evaluation phase where the game is almost complete. It's in the beta version, just that the voiceovers are missing for now. So let me go through a short background of this project. Yeah. So basically, we have developed two games. The first game is more an explorative game where you learn various safety awarenesses in the MRI zones. And the second one is about the accident in an MRI zone. So basically, these games are targeted to all the staffs and nurses, whoever is entering a radiology department. So these games are mainly meant for all the staffs. So the objectives of these game, or at the end of this gameplay, what we have developed under this LTAG grant, is for all the staffs who have played this game, they basically need to, recognize the safety hazards within any MRI zone, and also the possible arms and situational awareness while they are in the MRI zone. So that's the main objective of these games. So now we will get into detail of each games, and I would like my colleague Candice to take over. So she's the main script writer. So the game is all her idea. So she will take over from here and explain each game in detail about what she went through and what is that she covered during developing this game. Candice, can you take over?
Okay, thank you, Susie. Hi, everyone. I'm Candice. Welcome. And also, just want to extend a big congratulations to NNI. They are the first game that's going to be released for LTAG, and I've been working very closely with Jian Hui and Hui Ping, I believe, and Dr. Joanna, who have been giving a lot of input into this game. So I wouldn't say I'm the only scriptwriter here. Definitely the rest of them also have a big part to play in that. Okay, so I'm going to go through this not really in detail because I really would like you all to find out as much as you can about the game for yourself. That's kind of what all this evaluation is all about. It's your impression of the game, your personal feeling about the game. So I don't want to bias you too much. I'm just going to give you a very brief overview about each game. So there are two levels to this game. Level 1 is actually going to be more of an introduction to the 4 MRI zones. The player will be taken on sort of I guess you would call it a virtual tour, more of a virtual tour. This game being a level 1 game, there aren't really any fail points. So there also aren't a lot of decisions to be made by the player character. There will be a few, but none of them will be particularly crucial, in the sense that there's no like in the other game, the level 2 game, there are some crucial decisions to be made, which actually there's some branching, where if you choose the wrong branch, you actually can fail the entire game and you have to go back to the very beginning to start all over again. So there's none of that in the level 1 game. This game, because it's meant as an introduction to the MRI suite, we have designed it so that it's more what we call on a track or on rails. So just like if you imagine a train, you're constantly traveling on the rails and you can't really go off them. So yeah, so that's sort of the way it is. And the reason for this is we have the objective. This is more of, I guess, the objective is for training. And you may find that if you're, for yourself, if you have been working in radiology for a while, you may actually find this game a little too easy because you will already know all the safety issues and you know, where all the main things that you need to take note of, where they are. But don't forget that this game is actually meant for all levels who are coming into radiology. So not just doctors, nurses, and radiologists themselves, but also you know, porters or janitors, people like that who will have reason to step into the radiology department, or they're being, you know, they're transferring a patient in, they're assisting a patient in the MRI process. So this is for everyone who needs to enter the department. Yeah, so you will start off sort of with a virtual tour, and then later on in the second half of the game, you will be presented with 4 archetypal patients, and you will take them through the whole MRI process from the scanning, I mean, sorry, not the scanning, the screening, all the way into the eventual scan, the MRI scan. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Thanks, Susie. Okay, so moving on to level 2, as I said earlier, it is a slightly more difficult game. It assumes that the player already has a little bit of prior knowledge. So we advise that, you know, everyone starts with a level 1 game, regardless of which level they're at. Personally, start with level 1 game, get to know all the zones and, you know, some of the procedures that go into it, and then play the level 2 game. So it's sort of a scaffold. It gets a little bit more difficult as you go along. So this level 2 game, it has some fail points. As I mentioned earlier, there are some crucial decisions that, as the player character, the radiologist, who is the player character, you will have to make a crucial decision because an incident has occurred in the MRI scanner room. Um, you know, an accident has happened and people are in trouble, so what are you going to do? And so this particular emergency was actually taken from a real case that happened in India, where I believe a porter and a technician were actually pinned to the machine for a certain amount of time. And so level 2 was actually split into 2A and 2B. So in 2A, as the player, you are thrown in directly to the what's the word, the crisis situation from the very beginning. And it's quite, you know, it's quite narrative and dramatic, and should be quite fun. Okay, so there's no other slide, so I'll just carry on talking about 2B. When you get to 2B, some time has passed, and now you are playing a different character. You are now the chief risk officer, and or rather, you are assisting the chief risk officer. As the player, you're assisting the CRO to conduct an investigation into how this accident actually happened, and this will happen through a series of flashbacks, and you will see later as you play the game how this will take place. So as this happens, you will go around with the CRO to actually interview some of the witnesses and the people involved in the accident. And as the player, you have to pay really close attention to what the non-player characters are saying during the interviews. And when you get to the end, you piece together sort of the sequence of events to find out where the error or errors occurred in order to cause this accident. So that's about it.
I think these are the learning objectives. I mean, you want to talk about it, or you can just directly go to the demo?
I think we can jump straight in and we can talk about these as we go along.
Okay, cool. So Ryan, you want to share your screen?
Okay, but it says you disabled screen sharing. So
oh, really?
Could you enable it real quick?
Oh, yeah, I've done it. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, I can share it now.
You can share now.
Okay. Okay, so excuse me. So hey everyone, I'll show you like the games that we've developed so far, like a quick demo of each one. So games 1, 2, and 2B. So can you all see my screen?
Yep.
So
Okay.
this is basically our Windows client, 3D Hard Mobi app. So Ryan is using the Windows client to demonstrate to you the games now. So this is once you launch the app, you will get into the login screen, and we will give you a credentials later through an email. So you'll have a username and a password. So you need to use that to access your games. Yeah.
Yep, so this is where you log in, and once you log in, it'll authenticate the user, and give it some time. Give it a while.
Are you connected? Your internet? I think
Yeah,
your Zoom is
I
occupying everything.
think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Wait, it's fetching the games list. Okay,
Cool.
okay, good. So once you log in, you'll see like this icon. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, you'll see that's icon, MRI safety and healthcare NNI. So this, once you click on this icon, you'll be taken to like this menu where you can choose from one of the 3 gamelets that Candice talked about. So I'm just gonna briefly demo each game for you to show you like what Candice was talking about. So let's start with game 1. So MRI game 1 is intended to be like an intro and a virtual tour of the MRI zones. So the minute you open up the game, you'll see that there's Helen over here, and she's kind of like a guiding tutorial character who will guide you through the entirety of game 1. So she'll like give you this introductory text,
And there'll
and
be
then
certain, sorry, Ryan, and there'll be certain parts like this, as Chiang Hui mentioned right at the very beginning. This game is basically complete. The only thing that's really missing are the voiceovers. So when you see Helen talking to you like this, you will actually hear her voice as well. Yeah.
In the
Thanks
final
for
product.
in the final product. Yeah.
okay.
So these are basically like a comic or comic screens. Yeah. So go ahead, Ryan. Just I
Yeah,
mean, you
sure.
don't have to play
And
the whole game because
I won't
yeah.
because we don't have that kind of time. But anyway,
Yes.
so when you see a slide like a comic slide like this, all you have to do is tap once to proceed. So for the desktop, just click and you proceed to the next slide. So we usually have
Currently, it's
slide.
only available in PC version, but subsequently it'll be on mobile, on iPad, and all those.
Yeah.
Yep. So here we have the preview of the virtual tour of all the zones we're going to be going through in the comic. And yeah, so now we have a quick movement tutorial of how to move the character on PC. So these are the keys that you use
Looks like
to
a
control.
real game.
Yeah. So these are the keys to control character movement. And this is how you control the camera. So like if you want to look around at something, you have to hold the right mouse button and then move it, or use Q and E, which I personally use Q and E. That's much easier to use for me. So
We decided to bake in a little movement tutorial also because we anticipate that not everyone who plays this game is going to be a gamer. For a lot of them, this may be, one of their first times like playing a computer game. So we decided to just put in a simple tutorial for them.
okay. So, but the tutorials don't kind of end there. So like now, once you finish the movement tutorial, we get the like what we said, this game is going to be pretty much on rails. So this is the first station. Like so throughout the game, there'll be these red exclamation marks that pop over areas or people of interest. So whenever you walk up to something that has one of these red exclamation marks, you'll be able to interact with them. So this can range from dialogue options or mini games. They'll all begin from when you touch something with a red exclamation point. So let's go ahead to our first person of interest, this patient right here. We're gonna walk towards the waiting area and talk to the patient and see what she wants. So I will just walk towards her. Let's see what she wants. So when we walk up to her, she tells us that she's having a problem with her hip and it's painful to walk, so she needs some help. So this is like our first task. We got to go find a wheelchair for her. So now you can see that the red exclamation mark has popped over the wheelchair that we've got to use to bring towards her. So we'll just move towards it and bring it to her.
So there are several points in the game where you will have to do this sort of thing, where you pick something up, it goes into your inventory, and then going back to the other spots, you will trigger something like a mini game.
Yes. So now we have acquired the wheelchair. So we'll go and bring the good news to Jasmine. Okay. Let's go towards her and tell her we found the wheelchair. So now she'll thank us, and we have to help her to the registration counter. So we gotta locate the
It's slightly
registration.
different, but in general, it's still about the same.
Yeah.
Was there a question, Chia Hui, from your audience?
No, they were commenting about the picture. It's exactly the same as what we have in the department.
On the picture on the wall, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
That's a nice detail. That's great. Good to know.
I think I even see the Wi-Fi password over there. Does that actually work? Okay. Anyway, let's find the registration counter. So now when we look around, we'll see that the next exclamation mark has popped up over there. So let's go over and interact with her.
Okay. I think, Ryan, that's okay. I mean, let the users try the game.
Yeah, can we fast forward to zone 2 first?
Sure, no problem. So I will just press escape to quit the game. So anytime you want to quit, you just press escape and then you go back.
You can continue on, but go to zone 2.
I will.
Oh, we thought we will show the game 2.
Oh, game 2?
Oh,
Yeah.
a little bit of game 2B probably.
Or you want to see game 2A or 2B?
2B.
2B?
Let 2A be a surprise.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise.
2A is where all the drama happens.
Okay. Okay then. So let's go to 2B. So game 2B is like a full-scale Witcher 3 investigation kind of game. So you have to go and talk to a lot of NPCs to find out like what happened in the in the incident mentioned in 2A, which I will not spoil. So in each interview, yeah.
Chen Hui specifically requested that the CRO must be quite hot. So as you can see, he looks a bit like Clark Kent.
Wow.
Okay.
The world's greatest detective right here. Okay. So now we'll do that and collate all the findings. So now again with the whole red exclamation mark thing, now we gotta go talk to whoever has one of these floating over their heads. So we'll talk to her. And then he introduces himself and he will say that he's gonna take time to speak about the incident, which should only take a few minutes. So through the course of this conversation, like he'll ask her how she was involved in the incident and some of the stuff she remembers. So at this point in the game, we get to see flashbacks in the form of slides. So she tries to remember like what was happening at the time before the incident. So she will. So
Right? Can you click on that small arrow to show the previous dialogues?
Oh, the dialogue history.
Yeah.
Might not be exactly what happens in our department, but because of space constraints, we had to do it like that.
Yeah. So I'll show you, and this is the dialogue history. So if you want to see like the course of the conversation that has happened, it'll show you like the first line, second line, and so on and so forth. So okay, so I'll close that, and we will. And as the dialogue and the flashbacks are playing out, the player will need to pay attention to what the PSA is saying, and sort of cross-reference it with their knowledge of proper procedures in MRI zones.
Okay, don't worry. Quickly go to a mini game.
Okay. So at the end of all of the dialogue, we will get a series of tests and mini games to go through. So let me think. Let me try and remember what this option was. I think it was patient safety, right?
Yep, patient
Patient
safety.
naming. Okay. Yep. So we got that correct. And then
There's no
for
mini game for this, right?
no, this is the mini game.
This is
The
the MCQ
MCQ.
minigame.
Yes. So I think this is all of the above, right?
Yeah.
I think. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So patients with MR, unsafe
Unsafe.
devices should not be scanned. And then he says that he's going to head to the ward and check on Helen and the porter.
Okay. I
So,
think, yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you can stop here.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
So I'll just quit the game then.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that was gamelets 1 and 2B.
Yeah.
So shall I stop sharing my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So you just saw how the game. We just demonstrated the different elements in the game. So once we give you the login access and the game client itself, you can start exploring on your own. Okay, this is just the team who developed the game. Okay, so for now, we would like to tell you, also inform you that this is a beta version of the game. It's not the final version. So in fact, like, the game is complete. It's just that the voiceovers are missing. And even the 3D Hive Mobi, that is our client where you'll be testing this game. So like Candice said, we currently only have Windows client, Windows version of the client, because we are going through a massive upgrade. And eventually by the end of this project, we will have all the other platforms, that is Mac, iOS and Android. So we have a installation guide. I will be giving you the installation guide. Let me just quickly run through that guide. Stop this. Yeah. Okay, I think you can see the screen. Okay, so this is the installation guide. Basically, we will be giving you a link where you have to download a zip file and extract the zip file to to any folder in your desktop. So these are the system requirements. So this is the minimum system requirement to have a fantastic experience of this game. Otherwise, there will be there'll be some loss in the graphic quality. So yeah, I'll pass you this PDF so y'all can follow. It's very simple and straightforward. It basically tells you how to install and how to run the application and how to play the games, how to download. For the start, you have to click on the icons, the one just Ryan just demonstrated. You have to click on each of these games and download the game. So whenever we do a change in the future, you'll get to see an update button on top of it. Yeah, so there will be an update. So whenever there is an update, please update, and it will give you the latest version of the game, since we are still under the development stage. So yeah, this is about it. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes when you launch your application, you might get stuck in a loading screen like this for some time. For like if you got stuck on this loading screen for like more than a minute or something, you can always close and relaunch the application. Like we mentioned, we are developing the software. The software is going through some upgrades, so there might be some glitches. We are made sure that there are no glitches, just in case. I'm just letting you know. Usually it doesn't happen. In case it happens in your system, so please be aware of these things. Yeah, so I think otherwise, I think Ryan has covered most of it. Okay, at the end of the game, once you complete game 1, 2A and 2B, you will get to see a dashboard in your game 2B. After there is a final MCQ, a mini game of 12 questions. So after you are successfully completed those mini games, you will get to a question mark option where you have to trigger a dashboard. So you will get to trigger this URL in that particular screen within the app. So currently that is not fully working. So I will also be giving you the URL. So this is the dashboard URL. Can you all see my screen? You can see my
Yes.
URL? Okay, great. Because sometimes in Zoom, we can't switch screens. Yeah. So this is the dashboard. Chanvi, I'll be passing you this dashboard URL with the admin access. So you will get to see all the all the users' gameplay data. Well, while the gamers, so whoever's testing the game, will be able to log in. So you have to log in using this login access. So when you click on the login, you can use the same credentials that I'm going to give you for the game. You can use the same credentials to log into to this portal as well, and you will get to see your dashboard of all the game data, like how much you scored on each quiz and what is the decisions you made and things like that. So this is a simple dashboard. Okay, I would also like to say that this dashboard is something new we have done specially for LTAG project, and it is still under development as well. So there might be some issues in this. So I'll keep you updated on if there is anything to be concerned on this page. So this is the dashboard. So once you've completed all the 2 games and you are seen your leaderboard and your scoreboard and all that, we would also give you a form, an evaluation form, which you need to fill. So this is something we need to do for, So this is something you have to fill after you have completed all your 3 games. So we will need to submit this evaluation report to SSG for the LTAG grant claim. So the idea is to get 90% positive feedback. So if please help to answer these questions honestly. If you disagree with something, please say you disagree. If you agree, you just say strongly or whatever. Please don't mark everything as neutral, which we all do always. So that won't help us. So try your best. Try and evaluate us. With all honesty and nice and with good I'm sure you'll enjoy this game, and we're expecting at least more than 90% of positive feedback. Yeah, so that will be your end of the evaluation phase. So you could take about 1 or 2 weeks. You can play this game at your own time. So I'm sure there's lots of holidays are coming in. So I will give you the link to the games and the client by today. After this call, I will be emailing all the user credentials to Chanvi, and I think Chanvi will help me to send it out to others.
So for the evaluation, right, just honestly answer, because ultimately, right, if it's really not good, then we will have to improve on it in future versions.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
There is
I have a question.
Yeah.
There's a question.
Yeah, question. So for questions such as, I find the game like difficulty level, should we imagine ourselves as we are now, or as the intended audience for the game?
Should they assess as someone that's experienced, or should they assess as someone that's new, as a newcomer to the department?
I think because this game is targeted to the newcomers, right? So it would be nice if they could assess as a user, the actual user. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
So there's also there's a last final question on open question, a short description where you can go and fill in your feedback. I think Chanvi and her team would like to know about that as well.
So that means if there's glitches on any slides, you can just type it in the box at the bottom. And also more of like user interface. If you think there's room for improvement, there. That box is actually for me, but the rest of the MCQs are for them.
So I understand currently this software is under development. So in the sense that is there any plans to next time you go to the web base without download any installations. Because now you need to run the apps, run the thing to run it itself, right? Like,
yes, currently we have it on the Windows client. Eventually, when we roll out the games, it will go to your LMS.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So it can be either a learning management system or it will be under the mobile phone, under a specific app.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's more of like a
You don't need another
health.
specific software to run.
No need.
Yeah.
But I think currently for testing, it's going to be like that.
So if you are using a Windows app or mobile, you will need a mobile app or a Windows app. But once we launch it to your LMS, I don't think so you will need any app. It will just play from your LMS. I'm not sure. I think it's BizLearn if I'm not wrong. So you can just go to your BizLearn and you can play your game straight away from there. So that will be more like a web version of the game. But the experience as such would be better on our client, because you're already downloaded and you're playing the game offline. So your web, there might be some lags, but we are testing that and we are making it perfect. I mean, yeah, we can't promise 100% on that, because usually web and 3D games on a web usually lag. It depends on various factors on your laptop, your bandwidth, and many other factors. Any other question?
So for this, right, since it's in the 3D point of things, can we change the view to become a player mode, like you play in
a first
person view?
Currently, this game is built in a third person
Yes.
perspective, so that you can see the person walking around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think it's more of someone that, because we are targeting at all levels, so we cannot have it too difficult, like, in a first person's perspective. The person must be able to visualize that particular person.
Jump.
Cannot jump this game.
Escape and jump.
Sounds
but
like we have a bunch of gamers in the room.
Yeah, but the idea is just to complete, like walk through the whole zone, then figure out whether there are any glitches. And in the middle, there are some mini games, so to help us test whether it works. Yeah. Okay, that's all. We are done here.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I will be passing you all the installation guide, the URL to download, and the evaluation form and all that. Yeah, sure. Just give me some time, Sandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good
Thank
time
you.
playing this game. And yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.